Hello! So it's that time of the year again. I don't know, I just feel as if it's like a tradition at this point where I basically film what I did for my mom on her birthday. The last 2 years I made cakes, so this time I was like, let's switch things up, make them interesting, more interesting, because they already were whatever. So I was like, let's make pizzas, but not just a normal pizza, a heart-shaped one, because they are cuter. If it's not heart-shaped, how in the world am I gonna convey my love to her? You know, that's impossible. So for this particular thing, I used this book. It's a recipe book, and we got this at school. Look, Schulverlag. See? We used to use it at school for our cooking classes. There is a recipe for pizza, and I just decided to follow it and make this happen. Because we did make this recipe once at school and it turned out great. I remember it being amazing, so I trust this book. I basically started this by activating the dry yeast. I took a little bowl and I put water in it. But here's the thing, apparently you were supposed to use warm water and not normal water. So that was oopsie number one. The fact that I'm numbering my oopsies should be like a dead giveaway that I made more than one oopsie. My mom said you were supposed to put sugar in it. I don't understand the science behind it, kind of don't care, so I don't know, eyeballed an amount of sugar, and then I added the entire pack of yeast to it and mix it and let it sit. Now, in this first step in itself, I made 3 oopsies, one of which we have already covered. The second one was basically the amount of water used. See, if you look at the book, they have said you auflösen it in water. Auflösen, dissolve. You dissolve it in water. Later on, they said that you need to use 2.5 deciliter of water. Thought that they meant that we had to auflösen this Hefe in 2.5 deciliter of water. But what they actually meant was that you're supposed to use that 2.5 deciliter of water later on when you start kneading the dough. The final oopsie that I basically made was the amount of hefe that I used, yeast that I used. In the book it says 15 grams. Oh yes, basically I was making dough for 5 people, so basically dark green column plus the light green column. I got lazy and I was just like, let's use the entire thing. And the entire thing was like 25 grams. But anyways, I activated it and then I just let it sit. And in the meantime, I started to measure my flour. That step in itself was super easy. It is so freaking hot. There is actual sweat dripping from my legs. Anyways, that's disgusting. I don't know why I would share that. And also on the back of my neck, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, that step was easy. Somehow managed to do it with 0 oopsies. That was, I think, the only step that I did without any oopsies. Let's move on. After that, I put in 1.5 teaspoon salt along with 1.5 tablespoon olive oil. After which I mixed my beautiful activated dry yeast mixture. After this, I basically stopped using the book because I remembered exactly what we had done that day in class. It was basically that you just mix it first with a spoon. Once it basically sticks together enough, that's when you mix your hands in the mix, literally. Once that again sticks together a lot, that's when you transfer it to the counter and start kneading it over there. Apparently, as she said, because this was a very iconic thing that she said and I don't think I will ever forget it, even if I wish to. She said that people say that you're supposed to knead it until it's glatt wie ein Babypopo. That basically means smooth like a baby's butt. Yeah, it's really hard to forget it, even if you want to sometimes. It was something. Unfortunately, as you can probably tell, my kneading skills aren't really the best because the teig didn't really ended up looking as smooth as a baby popo. So what I did was just wet 2 towels with, water and just covered the baby up. Oh god, I need to stop calling it a baby. It covered the thing up, and then I just let it rest because that's what you're supposed to do. It's technically just a waiting game at that point. In the meantime, I basically turned to the sauce that I was gonna use for the pizza. I just used store-bought pizza sauce. I'm too lazy to do everything from scratch, you know what I mean? If you just see me like sweating, ignore it. Just ignore it. I came across this one link which was supposed to tell me how to make the sauce even better. Josh Hendrickson had a lot of responsibility on his back because if his tips failed, then this entire gift that I was making for my mom was gonna fail. Basically what his tips were that number one, you let it simmer and then you can put sugar in it. I didn't put sugar in it, I put salt in it, after which you were supposed to put either butter or olive oil. I put olive oil. I didn't realize how much olive oil I was using because I ended up putting a ton. Like you can literally see it like floating after a while. Then it was time to check on our little baby. As you can see, the baby had like completely became an adult in the meanwhile. And then it was just time to basically start working on the pizzas. So basically I took the dough and kneaded it again as you're supposed to. And cut it into 6 equal parts. I tried my best to flatten each and every circle as like flat as possible, but I just couldn't because for the first time ever, my nails were being a nuisance. Basically, whenever I used to press down on it, it used to puncture like the dough, and that is not what you're supposed to do. So then I just ended up using a roll-in pin, the one that my mom uses to make boris every day, you know what I mean, just the traditional one. But the way I made a heart was basically after flattening it completely out, I basically cut like a short line on the top and then basically twisted the edges of the pizza in order to make like a very fancy crust, basically almost a border in this case. I transferred it onto my oven's grid. The reason why I'm using this instead of just, you know, your normal pans like you're supposed to, last time I tried using it, my oven literally was emitting black smoke. After transferring the dough onto it, put on the pizza sauce, which was freshly manipulated by me. Abandoned the pre-shredded mozzarella that you get in the store and used the fresh ones instead, which I ripped with my hands just to make it look even more authentic, I guess. After that, I just put on basil leaves and popped that puppy right in the oven and let it bake. After taking out my first pizza, I definitely realized what more oopsies that I've done. Like I just should have used more sauce. Everything else was basically okay, but then it was time to like taste test because what if I'm like messing it up? So I cut it and ate it, and trust me, it was pretty good. And then I just made all the 4 other pizzas. And then just made my parents eat them. Of course I wanted to be extra. You're literally, oh, actually, hold on. Of course I was gonna be extra, and I made my mom basically blow a candle off of my pizza so that it will actually feel like a birthday gift to her. Again, not necessary, but totally necessary. I got these chocolates which are in like the shape of coins, and I think that is so freaking cool. Yes, the pizza in itself was really good. I mean, super delicious. I liked it a lot. It turned out just the way I wanted it to be. was just as thin as I wanted it to be, and the crust was exactly as puffy as I wanted it to be. So that was great. I decided not to have a lot of cola that day. That is, I know it's very surprising, but the reason was because like the previous night we had went out to watch a movie, and that's when I drank this huge thing full of cola. So I just didn't want to overdo it. But yeah, it was like an overall success, regardless the oopsies. And then actually later on, as dessert, we decided to have vanilla ice cream, which I topped it with star-shaped cereal. You know, chocos, like the star-shaped ones? Yeah, those. It tasted really good. Later that night, I didn't sleep early because I had to work on this presentation that I had this Monday. It was like a debate presentation type of situation, and it was actually against Goldman. So all of this basically happened on 3rd April. It was like an early birthday gift. And while doing research, I realized that the first guy to ever mine cryptocurrency, the dude's name is Satoshi Nakamoto. He was also born on 5th April. I think my mom is Satoshi. Actually, she's not home right now. She said that she was gonna go meet her friends. What if she's mining more cryptocurrency behind my back? I think it's her. Actually, I forgot to like add garlic cloves as topping, because that's what they did in this amazing restaurant in Capri. Because trust me when I say this, that was the best pizza I've had in my entire life. Oh my god, it was this restaurant. Let me tell you where it was, okay? Because I remember it. It was like, okay, see, you know there's like this chairlift in Capri, right? There's like this, I don't know, weird like center plaza thing where you're supposed to like walk. There's like stairs, you like walk up them, and on the right hand side there's basically a chairlift, and in the like the dead center, like after, you know, you walk up, there is this, I don't know, this weird huge building. I don't remember what it was anymore. It's been years. This is all just from like my memory. This might be factually incorrect. Diagonally in front of it there was this huge restaurant, and it was, we like asked them, oh, can we come in? And they were like, oh no, sorry, we're closing. But then they were like, what are you gonna have? And we were just like, oh, just one pizza. They were like, okay, come on. And honest to god, the best pizza I think I've ever had in my entire life. Unfortunately, I don't remember the name. There's that. Thank god like no one cooked with me in kitchen, you know, because then that would have just made things so much more uglier than they already were. Because that's what happened, like when we used to cook in school, we got divided into groups of 3. I was in the same group as my crush at the time. It was the worst. I think that's why I stopped liking him. I despise cooking along with people. If you don't want me to hate you, don't cook with me. Great, now that we have established the moral of the story, I will stop eating these. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, then thank you, and have a great day, and yeah, peace.